Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So in today's video I want to try to install Linux on my laptop. Currently I have Windows 11, which I'm not happy with, but I had to install it because a few years back I installed Linux Mint on it and I ran that for a few years, but then it was kind of getting annoying with the Cinnamon desktop environment. It doesn't really support the trackpad that well when you're used to using it in Windows. It doesn't support multi-touch all that well. So I took out the SSD just in case I wanted to go back, and I put in a 1 terabyte Kingston SSD back when they were cheap, and I installed Windows on it. And I mean, it works, but you know, I want to try to get rid of Windows. So I thought I would try to put the original 500 gigabyte Samsung SSD back in the laptop and try to install Kubuntu, because I have used the KDE Plasma a few times now, and it actually seems like it might do what I want it to. As I can see that it should have the proper trackpad support, the proper, you know, also do some screen magnifications, which Linux Mint is not that great at. And that should also be better in KDE. So yeah, I want to just quickly fire up my Windows and show you what it is that I want it to do, and then I can fire up the Linux Mint install and show you how that behaves. And after that we'll reinstall this SSD with Kubuntu. I have also used Ubuntu before, but it really isn't my favorite kind of desktop environment. It also doesn't do the accessibility zoom very well. And as you can see with Windows here, what I basically want is I'm able to magnify the screen and move it around, and then you can kind of quickly, yeah, see, that's the thing with Windows, it doesn't always work. But if I open up something, it should work. Yeah, so now I can like quickly zoom in and out, which is nice. And what's also nice is that the multi-touch trackpad kind of works, so you can magnify in and scroll up and down. And it also, of course, works on the touchscreen, which this device has a touchscreen, so I want the touchscreen to work. And in Linux Mint, it just kind of reacts as a mouse pointer, not with like really multi-touch like this. So let's shut this back down, and you know, I won't touch this SSD just in case I want to go back, but if I remember correctly, it should be a 1 terabyte. Yeah, so as you can see here, it is a 1 terabyte SSD, which I mean I might want to use for something else, because I don't really do a lot of heavy work on my laptop. It's mostly web browser and maybe light video editing, but I tried to do video editing on Windows, and it wasn't really powerful enough to do the H.265 stuff, so I don't think I'm going to do video editing on it. But yeah, I write documents, use a web browser, but I just want the kind of peripheral interfaces to be proper. So I'm just going to start by removing all of the back panel, and first by taking the correct bit. And you know, once I've removed the back panel, swap over the SSD, and I'm considering if I should back up my Linux Mint install, but I haven't used it in like a very long time, so I don't think I'm gonna have anything that I want to keep on it. Considering it's like, I think it's been a year since I used the Linux Mint install on it. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna straight up override it. I do want to have a backup of my Windows install just in case, but of course I'm gonna have that by just implicitly by me replacing the SSD also, because I don't really need a terabyte in it. It was just because, you know, back when I bought it, it was before all of the Rampocalypse, as we call it, so it was cheap. It was like, how much would it be? 50 euros for a terabyte, I think. Yeah, I think that checks out. They were really cheap. So yeah, might use that for something else. But then again, I don't know really if I have another use for it, because in my server, I'm also going to have an extra SSD, because I'm going to remove TrueNAS I'll remove Proxmox from my NAS server and install TrueNAS directly. So, and then I'm also gonna get that VM drive from that server, which is a 2 TB Kingston, which I also don't have a use for currently, but yeah, might come in handy. Maybe I'll find a use for it, I don't know. Let's see if I can get this off. Is that unscrewed? Yeah, it is. That finally came off, and I just got kind of reminded myself that I did forget to disable the built-in battery, which is kind of best practice to do before you start messing around with stuff. So I'm just gonna quickly do that before anybody notices. And of course, Windows being Windows, it skipped past the prompt, because Windows is like, ah yeah, you want to do quick boot? Quick boot? No, I don't want to do quick boot. Seriously, what the f? F1? I believe it's F2, but oh. Yeah, it was F1. Okay, my fault. Okay, finally. So go into config, power. There we go. While we're in here, I'm just gonna like quickly check so the fan doesn't actually look in dirty. I don't use this laptop a whole lot, which is, you know, why I also don't need a terabyte SSD in it. So it doesn't really get that dusty, and you know, I kind of open it up more than an average person would do. So it also gets kind of quickly blown out once in a while. So yeah, the fan is not dusty at all. But yeah, here we can see the SSD that I put in. It's I believe it's a Kingston NV3, is it? PCIe 4 NVMe M.2, and it's a 1 TB. So yeah, not the super most expensive of models, but yeah, nowadays this would probably cost 3 times what I paid for it. So I paid probably 50 euros 2 years ago, I think. So yeah, nice to have around. We're gonna take the new one with Linux Mint on it, and we're gonna install that. And yeah, saying new one, this is actually the original one that came in the laptop back when I ordered it in 2020. I bought it with 500 gigabytes, and yeah, this is the original. It's a Samsung. We could just see it. So yeah, I know it's a Samsung, and works well enough. It's not a PCIe 4, but also then this laptop also doesn't have PCIe 4, I believe. So it's fast enough. Again, I'm not a heavy user on the laptop itself. More on desktop. I kind of am a bit of a power user. Well, I would say I'm a power user, but I'm not a heavy user, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is more than enough. And then it has 8 gigabytes of solid RAM, and then it has this SODIMM of 16 gigabytes. I think, yeah, rest in peace Crucial, but it's a Crucial DDR4. And you know, for Linux, actually 8 gigabytes of RAM would be enough. But I bought this. The reason I bought this laptop back in the day in 2020, but that was 6 years ago, was when I was taking my education. I ran all of the VMs I used for school. I ran them on the laptop. We did have some servers for some of the projects, but I preferred to run them locally. So let's see if we can install this. So yeah, that's why, you know, 24 gigs of RAM is a lot better for a few Windows VMs and stuff than 8 gigs. Especially because back then I ran Windows 10, but also used quite a bit of RAM. But yeah, that's swapped now, and maybe one day I'll also do a battery replacement, because it's getting old now. Like it is from January of 2020, so back before COVID, and battery has done decently well. It has never really been a laptop that had good battery life, but yeah, I feel like that's kind of only changed recently with the new Intel what do you call them? Core, the 300 series, Core 3, is that what you called it? I don't understand the new naming scheme quite yet, but yeah, the Core 300 Ultra and the new Zen 4 and stuff, AMD chips. They're quite power efficient and could have, like, the Framework Laptop Pro has what, 18 hours of battery life or something crazy. This barely has like 3 or 4, maybe 4 if you're lucky and not actually doing anything. Probably 2 hours if you're actually doing something. So yeah, but it's not. If I just want to spend multiple hours watching YouTube, I just use my iPad instead, and that also does fine. I have a few times kind of screwed in the whole thing, and then I realized a side was kind of popped out, and then especially at the bottom part, once this whole other part is engaged, you can't click in the bottom part because it's meant to kind of lever out of that. So yeah. So now we can fire it back up, and the way to do that is you just plug in a charger. So here I have a LTT cable, and I can just give you my quick thoughts on these cables. I mean, once they're connected, they work, but the connection to stuff isn't actually always that great. I don't have an example right here, but I have a few power banks that it actually doesn't really want to connect to, because I don't know if the USB part is not long enough or something, but it doesn't click in all the way. But yeah, I mean, it carries the power and voltage and whatever that it says it does, so that part is good. It's just that the connection on the cables isn't always that great, considering how much they cost, and considering that they're supposed to be good quality cables. I mean, the cable is good quality. It's a bit thick, but I mean, that's kind of what you're buying. You're buying a thick cable. But yeah, I just kind of wished for a bit more on the connection side. But yeah, I have this permanently plugged into a 45 watt PD charger. But for something like a phone, for example, like this, yeah, that's plugged in fine, but it doesn't really, like, it plugs in, but it's not that tight. Like, it's not kind of yeah, gripping that much. I don't know. Okay, so now I can kind of show you what it doesn't do that I want it to do. So, for example, if I go to Google and just type in something, whatever. This, like, yeah, okay, so when I pinch to zoom, it kind of enables the whole screen magnification, and you can also hold control. But as you can see, like, if I scroll out too much, then it changes the browser zoom instead. So it's like, it's kind of conflicting the way it handles it. And yeah, so does the zoom here on the screen. It kind of just does the same as the trackpad. Now, while the zoom is active, it works fine-ish. But yeah, just the fact that, and if I disable the whole screen magnification, then obviously I can't zoom in the rest of the operating system. The 2-finger scrolling, I don't know if you can how well it would come across on camera. It's very unnatural. First of all, it's delayed, and then that could just be a sensitivity also, but it's like scrolling way too much, and it feels like you're scrolling on a scroll wheel, not the kind of, yeah, and then you can't use your finger to scroll like you would expect on a touch screen. So it's just like, it's not properly implemented, and then maybe it's properly implemented in their opinion, but in my opinion, like, this is not how it's supposed to work. But I'm just a Windows guy, so what do I know? But yeah, I've finished flashing a Kubuntu drive, so I think we should try to install that. Okay, so I asked it to shut down my system, How do I shut it down? Suspend? That sounds like it's some kind of sleep mode. I don't want to suspend, cancel, or restart. You want to shut down the system? Why is there nothing called shut down? That's what I asked you to do. But yeah, I know it's suspend, but it's small things like that. That's kind of some of my gripes, but like the whole underlying thing of Linux Mint is great. It runs great, but yeah, that's kind of it. So on this little USB stick, I have flashed Kubuntu, just the latest one from their website, and I believe I should be able to hit F11. Oh, suspend was sleep, I guess, because I told it to shut down and it didn't. Okay, so I guess suspend was some kind of sleep, because what the hell are you doing? Because I told it to shut down and I guess it didn't. Shut down the system. Wait, cancel? No, cancel just cancels it. Then I can restart it or I can suspend it. So how do I actually shut it down? Like what? Well, I guess I could just restart, but yeah, it definitely didn't shut down, even though I told it to shut down. So that being said, I am running an 1-year-old version because I haven't used this install for a year probably. So maybe they fixed it, but yeah, people on Reddit are kind of saying the same thing about the trackpad and touchscreen support. So I'm just gonna move away. And maybe it's a Lenovo problem that it doesn't like to actually enter any of the menus. I know you can hit enter to interrupt it, right? Yeah, that worked. Okay, so what am I supposed to hit? F12. Oh, I thought it was F11. Okay, so we'll do the SanDisk. Well, maybe this was actually what it booted to before. Maybe I should enable secure boot beforehand. I don't know if I have that enabled. You know, we'll just give that a quick check, just to see. Because it should support secure boot. If it doesn't, then I'm not happy. But on the desktop, don't really mind. On the laptop, I kind of want it to be secure boot. Security, secure boot. Let's enable that. Let's do startup. Let's change the boot mode is quick. You can go away. Diagnostics, yes. Boot order lock and boot order is definitely the Windows boot manager. Whatever. And then SanDisk, and then yeah, okay. So I don't know why it still has a Windows boot manager in it, but now we should be cooking with gas. The gas is cooking, we hope. Okay, so here we are at the installation screen, and it's saying something about the Ethernet connection. So I thought, yeah, might as well connect that. And that's obviously on the wrong side, because of course it is. So let's see if it has drivers for that natively. So without really doing much other than plugging in the cable, it does recognize that the Ethernet is plugged in. So usually setting it to English Denmark just makes it have the proper region formatting. And yeah, we'll leave it at Ethernet. When I click this, it just shows all of my Wi-Fi networks. So it does also have Wi-Fi support. So I could try it first, or I could just install it. And I think I'm just gonna install it. I don't care about this Mint. Oh, that's really bright. Why would they do that? Does it have drivers for the brightness yet? Nope. Okay, well, I don't have my contacts in, so that's really bright. So what's kind of interesting is I already chose the language, and then it says American English down here, but it doesn't actually say, like, what am I selecting? Is it the keyboard, or what is it? I thought it was the keyboard, but then I hovered over it, and then it says the application and system language. Well, what did I select before? I already selected the application and system language when I selected English Denmark, but yeah, I guess I'll just do regular English because there's no Danish English. So, and I'm not selecting Danish. So what do we have here? We have the support, sure, but yeah, it's really tiny now. Before it was nice and big. Now it's super tiny. I'm just gonna do this so you maybe can see it a bit better. So now we get to like additional software, and we can select between a full installation, normal installation, or minimal. And wouldn't the full be a normal one? All applications in the normal listed below. So what are those packages? Are those okay? So if I do a full installation, I guess I get all of that. Yeah, and if I do a normal one, I just get kind of not all of that, and then minimal, I guess I get even less. So what do I get in a full installation? Is that it? Oh, I thought this was going to be like a whole extensive list. There's no scroll bar. So yeah, I get. So that's the difference between a minimal and a full. You get 3 pieces of software. The virtual machine manager sounds kind of useful. Don't know if I really need this for anything. Guess I can't remove it unless I do a normal and then say, yeah, I want virtual machine manager. Even though I use Proxmox, it might be nice if I'm kind of messing around. And then messages and secure collaboration apps. So kind of like Proton, but nah, don't think I need it. I have Proton, so download and install updates. I don't want to do that. Sounds like a good thing to do. And then there's this tiny button down here where you can click next. And then, like, yeah, they're not taking very well advantage of the screen, and especially because they're usually with most operating system installations, it prompts you for the accessibility way beforehand. So I could actually zoom in, but I have tried to do the shortcut and it didn't really do it. But I know it should be inside the OS because it was in Bassite. It had the zoom. Install alongside. So replace. Yeah, we'll just do erase disk because what is this? Swap to file ext. I guess I want a swap. I guess. Can I do ZFS? Ooh, no, that's not ZFS, that's it. XFS. What the hell is XFS? It's like, Mom, can we get ZFS? No, we have ZFS at home. The ZFS at home. XFS. Yeah, that was a weird joke. But yeah, we have the Samsung SSD selected up here. And we'll just do default ext4, I guess, it's fine. There's no LVM, is there? I guess I don't need LVM because it's a fixed disk, so it's not going to be expanded. LVM is really useful for inside a VM because then you can expand the disk without having to do all sorts of stuff, and you can do it live, not have to reboot. So yeah, we're gonna erase all of that. And now we have to create a user. So yeah, keyboard local, we get a summary of the partitions, and hopefully it doesn't show my password in plain text, but yeah, and then we can install it. We get a little warning here saying that it's about to make changes to my disk and that it cannot be undone, so we just click install and away it goes. It's now about an hour later. I just had a quick meeting that I had to attend to, but the installation has now finished, and I did just quickly boot it up and change some of the preferences, just to change it to dark mode and make sure the zoom was enabled. But after the installation finished, the secure boot stopped working again. So apparently only the secure boot works when you're booting from the USB, not when you're actually booting the OS So if we go in under security and secure boot, I turned it off again. And then I found out why when I tried to boot in Windows, tried to enter the BIOS, some moron decided to disable the option key display. So that's why it didn't show the option keys. And of course I hit the wrong key, but it didn't tell me that it was even registering it because this was disabled. So I changed the mode back to quick, but still enabled the option display. And yeah, the boot order, it doesn't show up as any specific grub boot entry here. It just shows as the SSD. And yeah, I deleted the Windows Boot Manager entry. And now it should boot up. And one of the tests that I want to do is to see how quickly after the system has booted that I'm actually able to use it, because that's one of the things with Windows is that it's, you know, Windows. So it's never ready once you're at the desktop. And I just kind of want to get a feeling of, you know, how does it perform out of the straight when it's booted. And then yeah, I want to do a quick testing of the touch input, the trackpad, all of that, see if it works as it should. Because that's also one of the requirements that I'm tired of how the the experience works on Cinnamon. So booting up, I still have this welcome screen, and by holding the Control and Windows key and scrolling, I'm able to do the screen magnification, which is nice. It just worked out of the box. I didn't even have to enable it. It was just enabled by default, which is very nice. And yeah, let's open up a web browser. And you can see Firefox opened up pretty quickly, so it actually, yeah, it doesn't have any bullshit that it needs to start up. And opening up my YouTube channel here, that loads pretty well. I had to modify the scrolling direction because by default it scrolls in the opposite way. I disabled the point acceleration. Maybe I should kind of enable that again, because on a trackpad point acceleration is pretty nice, but on a mouse it's not. And yeah, I changed the scrolling direction to be inverted because that's how it feels natural to me to do it. And yeah, it works on the trackpad, and I can do my little, oh yeah, that's maybe some websites. Yeah, that's probably YouTube's fault. But yeah, I can do my magnification, and I can, let's see, can I move this window? Yeah, I can move the window. I can full screen it. So that's pretty nice that it actually works like that. And yeah, let's try to play a video, see if that works. I don't think it registered the click. Okay. Yeah, plays fine. At multiple X speed, also plays fine. So yeah, that works. Now, gestures, do they work? Doesn't seem like it. I can of course go back and forward. Well, that's a Chrome thing, but I can't like do any. Oh, can I? Oh, okay, I can. Okay, so I have to use 4 fingers and swipe up. It actually, yeah, so you can totally see like this actually has proper multi-touch support in the trackpad, because otherwise it wouldn't be able to recognize kind of the intermediate steps. So yeah, you can swipe up with 4 fingers. You can swipe down with 4 fingers. Yeah, but you can't like go to the desktop with 3 fingers, for example. So yeah, so far so good. Now I just want to test it with an external mouse to see if it also inverted the scrolling direction of that, because I supposedly only changed it on the trackpad settings. You just have to find the dongle for it. And there it is. Okay, external mouse is connected, and yeah, it scrolls in the correct direction. So when I scroll my finger down like this, it scrolls down, but it also does it the opposite when I use the trackpad, which is exactly how I want it. And stuff like the side scroll wheel also works, which is awesome. Forward and back works. So yeah, so far everything here is pretty good. Now that just reminds me, and also this opened up. I didn't open this, it opened up because I had it open last time, but that probably means that I can enable the, oh, now the mouse is gone. Okay, why is the mouse gone? So okay, maybe I need to install some updates because the mouse disappears whenever I zoom in. But anyways, so the pointer acceleration seems to be a bit more polished for actual laptop hardware. Like Linux Mint and Cinnamon is fine on a desktop, but on a laptop, yeah, no way. So yeah, this feels pretty good. The scrolls in the correct direction, and it has a separate menu for all of the mouse stuff, which is, yeah, awesome. But yeah, the mouse disappears whenever I activate the zoom, which is unfortunate. So yeah, here the pointer speed is way too high. Oh, so that's interesting actually. Whenever you change the settings, it's even individual for the, damn it. Yeah, it'd be nice if the mouse didn't go away so I could actually see what I was clicking. But when you change anything here, it actually changes it for the individual, individual input device, that's kind of neat. So you can see I just changed it for the track point. We'll change that back to default and apply. So now, yeah, my track point is still a bit too much. Pointer acceleration should obviously be disabled on a track point. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's fine. Yep. So the wireless mouse, I guess, is the, yeah, because there's multiple things connected to this dongle. So here I can change it for the MX Master specifically. If I click apply, yeah, that feels way better. So that's actually pretty nice that it granularly like lets you change like specific input devices, because yeah, it's not obviously the same. The sensitivity on a track point and a trackpad and a physical mouse, you don't necessarily want the same sensitivity or the same scrolling direction or whatever. So that's awesome that they let you change it that granularly. And yeah, in the accessibility, it you can change like the screen zoom and stuff. But yeah, the mouse is, why is the mouse going away? For some reason that's a setting, pointer appearance, hide, keep. Why is that enabled? Yeah, okay, now it doesn't hide it. Okay, I don't know why that changed, but so that wasn't the bug. It was, I guess, if you wanted that, then you could have it. And you could also change it to scale your pointer, so whenever you zoom in, it, okay, I guess if I change it to that one, yeah, that makes sense. So you're by doing keep, it changes your pointer relative to like the screen size, and by doing scale, it actually like makes the pointer relative to the window size. So it kind of makes the pointer larger. I guess this is the more traditional one because the pointer stays the same size relative to the zoom level, I guess. So yeah, should we go through this first time dialogue thing, see what that has to say? Let's see, Alt F4, yeah, Alt F4 works. So where we get welcome, then we can learn a bit about the simple by default, yeah, okay. Powerful when needed, so keyboard shortcuts and all sorts of overview, and yeah, I guess that's fine. and you get the Discover store where you could get like VLC, GIMP, all that kind of nice stuff. I guess I could look in here and see if I could find some stuff, because I do want VLC indeed. And another thing I want is Proton. So let's install that. Proton Mail. Is it the official one? How do I know if this is official or if it's some kind of virus? It says it's verified. It's a verified publisher. Yeah, I don't know if I trust it that much. I'm just gonna Google it. I guess it should be fine, the thing in here, but I don't know if it's official. Like usually these kind of, at least the Microsoft store and the whatever, all these stores are littered with malware. So Flatpak. Is that Flatpak? Yeah, FlatHub. No, I don't. I want that from. No, not the Linux. How to set up Proton Mail Linux app? Yes, that's what I want. Okay, so I can also install it using the apt repository. So beta. Well, why is it a beta? Like, what if I want the? This is the Linux world. It's so lovely. Yeah, didn't find what you're looking for. So on the Snap Store. Okay, it's available on the Snap Store. So is that the same as? What if I select install? View in desktop store, Ubuntu, that all later, sudo snap install Proton Mail. So what does I select? View in desktop, yips, open. So it doesn't open the same thing as what I already found. Oh, this is just like, what do you want to open it in? Okay, so then now when I click install and then open, and then I say, can I say as default? Okay, so set as default, and then I hit that, then it should. So if I close that and now do it, no, it didn't do it. But yeah, this is the official one. This is the one that they clearly link to from the official website. So it is official. I'm just like very paranoid about those kind of marketplaces. So install from Snap. Let's do it anyway. So if I look for GIMP, for example, does it say install from Snap or does it just say install? No, it does say install from Ubuntu. So that's different from Proton. If I select Proton VPN, for example, install from Ubuntu. Proton Pass, install from Snap. Mail Bridge, install from Snap. Proton Mail, well, that's installed, but yeah, so they come from different sources. But then is this also verified from, yeah, verified from Ubuntu, right? So that seems more legit that it's verified from Ubuntu than this one just says it's a verified publisher from Snapcraft, which sounds like a Minecraft thingy. But yeah, I guess it's fine. And yeah, so Discover is a thing which might have malware, might not. Oh, and this is nice, refreshing compared to how Microsoft conducts their the stuff here. You can change, this is how default, how much information you provide back to the developers, and by default it's disabled, and you can change basic or some more or detailed system information. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep it disabled because you know, no, I could change it to basic. So basic, you get the application versions, compiler, platform, the QPA information, whatever that is, Qt version. That's probably some kind of window management, the Qt, I know, word for window managers. And yeah, that's about it. So welcome. We're now finished with the, oh, and no, apparently we weren't. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it set up, and like so far my first impressions are pretty nice. Like it comes pre-installed with Firefox, and I can go to my my YouTube channel, and the audio works, the Ethernet works. Maybe I should just connect to Wi-Fi and see if that works. So unplug the Ethernet. Okay, I've now connected to Wi-Fi and seems to work fine. Let's just do a quick speed test. Test dash server. Yeah, I have an open speed test server here, and let's see how. Yeah, so the Wi-Fi driver seems to work just fine. This is about what I would expect from my access point, and this device, it's a, I think it's only a Wi-Fi 5 card in this one. It doesn't have Wi-Fi 6, and my access point is a U6 Pro, I think it is. Yeah. And yeah, this is more than enough. It's not like people on like Linus Tech Tips or whatever, they have things with multiple gigabits on Wi-Fi, and I feel like that's kind of not really necessary. But again, they also said back in the day you don't need more than a few megabytes of RAM, and here we are. So, but yeah, I don't know really what else to do. So I installed Proton Mail. I guess we could log into that and see. It's probably just gonna behave like regular Proton Mail. I could try my to see if my YubiKey is gonna be recognized. An interesting thing to test now is if Proton Mail is actually able to recognize my physical YubiKey, if the drivers are just kind of there for it. So I'm just gonna plug it in, and it does show up. So I guess I want to authenticate. Okay, does it? No. Oh, it did it. Okay, so it's not like on Windows where it has that little pop-up and you have to select the security key or Windows Hello or whatever. It just kind of does it in the background, but yeah, I was not really sure because yeah, usually there's a little pop-up and you have to press the button, and I just kind of told it to authenticate and nothing really happened, and then I clicked the button and it also seemed like nothing really happened, but I guess it worked. So that's nice. The user experience is not as obvious to what you're supposed to do, but I mean, I guess it worked. So I guess we'll try it again, just through a web browser. So I'll plug in the YubiKey, and yeah, so we get this little pop-up here, but if I click it without even clicking authenticate, does it do anything? And the answer is no. So now if I click, that it should. Oh, it actually does say, so touch your security key. So it doesn't come with the pop-up, but you can see here it actually has integration with the Firefox directly. So I press it, and then yeah, it will sign in. Yeah, that worked. So okay, that's actually pretty nice that it has more of a, it doesn't, Windows is not the middle layer, because also whenever I have at work, for example, I have a password manager that also supports passkeys or whatever. So whenever I have to sign into something that has a passkey and I want to use my YubiKey, I first have to click away the password manager, and then Windows comes up and it's like, oh, do you want to use me? And I'm like, no, I want to use my YubiKey. So I have to click like two or three pop-ups away before I get to use my actual YubiKey. Whereas here it's just like, yeah, you can press your key and it works. Yeah, so that's pretty nice so far. Hopefully I haven't leaked all of my information by not blurring something that I was supposed to. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed. I don't know what else really to test because it just seems to yeah, work. I mean, all I need is really just a browser, Google Docs and my Proton obviously, and then yeah, of course Jellyfin is gonna work fine. So I don't see a problem there. But I guess with Cinnamon, maybe they're not as focused on improving the laptop experience because, yeah, this is exactly how it works in Windows, and even the zoom is, maybe I could actually modify the zoom settings, because when you go to the edges here, like this is a bit too far to the edge. I like how it kind of doesn't always center the mouse, but it's a bit too much. So I'll see if I can change that. We're going to accessibility, and we're in the zoom menu here. So yeah, so you can change it to proportional. Okay, so it's kind of separated into the full screen, the region, or having it disabled, and then you can change the hotkey down here, and gesture modifier keys, and then there's also some shortcuts which are the more different. But the tracking is like proportional, so this is what we have now. Then you can change it to centered, which this is the kind of old school Windows 1, and then the more old school Windows 1 is the push, which is absolutely horrendous. I mean, some people prefer it. I know my brother actually he used to prefer it. I don't know if he still does, but where it kind of stays in place and you can kind of push it around, which, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. And then I guess center and strict is, yeah, it gives you a black screen outside. So here you can actually, makes you able to actually see the tray icons, whereas with the centered, it kind of stays in the bottom, but you can still see the tray icons. But with the proportional, which is the one I prefer usually, because it gives you a better idea of where kind of on the screen you are, because when you can see now I'm obviously in the lower left bottom of the screen because the mouse is in the lower left. But yeah, I wish you could kind of change the margins on it, because it shouldn't, yeah, it should kind of add a bit more space. But I guess you can't have everything be absolutely perfect. Maybe I could add that as an issue on GitHub. Maybe they might fix it. Who knows? I guess it's a KDE thing, not really a Kubuntu thing, because this is just a KDE. And a bit annoying, but I guess most operating systems have this, where if you're trying to scroll and you're accidentally over a menu thing, it just changes it, and you might not notice that it changed something, which is probably what happened with the mouse, this one, where it hides the mouse instead of scaling it. It's probably because I tried to scroll and it changed and I didn't notice, which, yeah, I guess you just have to remember to go out here and scroll so you don't hover over anything. But yeah, I could change, I'm kind of contemplating if I should change it so this shortcut key is similar to how it is on macOS or how it is on Windows. I guess I can't do, so I can do control, but that doesn't work. Oh, I have to, yeah, of course I have to apply first. So apply, yeah, so I can do macOS, it's control, or Windows, it's control alt. So I guess, yeah, Control might be annoying because it will interfere if I'm trying to change the zoom level on a website. Because now if I could do control zoom, it changes the like text size level of a website, or what you call it. If I do Control Alt, it changes that. And if I change, let's see, do they actually interfere or do they have that set up nicely? Yeah, they have it set up to actually block the other one. So now if I Control Zoom, it doesn't actually change the website, which is, you know, what it's supposed to do. But Linux Mint, no, can't handle that. So that's pretty nice, actually, that it does that. Yeah, I think Control Alt is my, because like if I have to hit Control or Control Alt, doesn't really change anything, but it just gives me less options when doing it. When I want to change this, for example, I have to go into the menu, but here I can just do Control Alt. So I think that's what I'll do. And I guess I'm gonna change this one to centered, because otherwise this bottom panel here is kind of dumb. So yeah, last of all, maybe I should just see if I can install some updates. So when I search update, first thing that pops up is discover. I don't know how relevant that is. So update software automatically, do I want that? Will be downloaded automatically when they become available. Updates application will be installed immediately while system updates will be installed next time the computer is restarted. Guess I want manual, because yeah, this is just gonna be like Windows. It's probably still better than Windows, but it's a bit annoying having it install updates when you don't want it. But then again, my phone is supposed to update its apps automatically, and I guess it doesn't, because each time I open a bank app, it says, you need to update the app. It's like, yeah, I thought you were supposed to do that. And it is enabled to auto update. It just doesn't do it because, I don't know. So it doesn't auto update any of my apps. And so I guess maybe it does sometimes, but not often enough that it's not a problem. So yeah, usually like at least once a month when I open a bank app, it tells me that I have to update it before I can open it, which is silly that that's still a problem. So, but that shouldn't really be a problem on here because it's more fair. I would use a web browser for that. So I guess I'll just once in a yeah, we'll do automatic. We'll see how it is. I can always change it to manual if it gets annoying, but yeah, it's Linux. It shouldn't be annoying. It should just kind of install the updates in the background and not get in your way. So we'll see. I'll do automatic. So apply system updates immediately after rebooting. Yeah, because then it doesn't. Yeah, we'll do that. And you can update daily. That's fine. So yeah, that's pretty nice. So what about actually applying the updates? So how do I do that? Well, now I could go into the terminal and do the apt update, but like how would I actually? I just changed the update frequency, right? But there's no option to update. See available updates, discover, terminal. Yeah, so there's actually no option, no GUI option to install the updates. That's kind of silly, because I guess it's not the Discover store, right? That's just the apps that I installed. Firefox, oh, maybe it is. This is not necessarily. So yeah, we get the UEFI CA. So maybe this will actually let me update all. Yeah, maybe that will enable me to enable secure boot. Yeah, so it should kind of just work by default, but maybe I'm missing a certificate or something. Not really sure. Thunderbird. Why did it install Thunderbird? That's kind of weird. I thought I selected the normal installation and then only selected one additional program, and then it decided, yeah, I need Thunderbird. But that's kind of bloatware. Well, it's not bloatware, but installing it by default seems like bloat. So we'll do a restart. We'll try enable secure boot again, see if it works. Hopefully it does. but I'm not totally convinced it will. Secure boot, enable, and exit. And then if that doesn't boot, then I guess I will see if I can get the file from somewhere. Because it did boot the USB with it. So does it use a different certificate or something? I'm not sure. It doesn't really make sense, but it doesn't seem that promising right now. Not really doing much. Oh, yeah. I just got jinxed like twice. I thought it was gonna work, then I didn't think it was gonna work. And then I thought it was gonna work because it came with a menu, and then it was just a boot menu. So yeah, no, that doesn't work. So that's weird why it's able to boot the USB installation, but not the actual OS. And I had secure boot on to begin with, so because I specifically enabled it. Strange. Let's see if I need to install a certificate. Security, secure boot. Let's see, user mode, standard. Clear all secure boot keys. Oh, enter setup mode. So that should, you can customize. So now it's in setup mode, not user mode. So now if I reboot and go in again, maybe I'm able to change the keys. Because it did say in the description that I could add a new platform key. Interesting if it will do anything. So, secure boot. No. Into setup mode. Or reset to setup mode. I select yes, and it doesn't do it. Reset to factory, yes. Yeah, so it changes to user mode, right? And this changes to setup mode. So I guess when it's in setup mode, does it prompt me to install the key? Maybe it does. Maybe some BIOSes, when you boot the first time, it prompts you to install the key. So maybe that will work. I know Vintoy does it. When you boot, it prompts you to install the key. It's not promising so far. Maybe it is. I don't know. No, it said something and then it went away. But it's booting, so maybe that was it. Maybe I just have to enable setup mode and then it would boot. But then why can it, I don't understand, why can it boot from this and then not after it installed? Because if it would be a different key, then I don't see how it could boot from this guy and not also require setup mode. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but it was the same kind of issue I had with Bassite. It also could do secure boot and then suddenly it couldn't. And I guess it said it installed the keys, but it didn't. So maybe in Proxmox you also have to put it in setup mode, because maybe it can't install the keys unless it is in setup mode. Maybe that's it. It is quite slow at booting though. And it's also weird after you sign in, it shows the Lenovo logo, but I mean, it's fine, no problem. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really, secure boot works, I guess. I'm not sure that it's supposed to be in setup mode, but I mean, if it works, it works, and I'm not gonna, it's not like I'm that paranoid. It's just, it's nice to have enabled because it does add additional security, especially to a portable device. But I'm not that paranoid. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. This video didn't really have any structure to it other than I wanted to try Kubuntu, and I thought maybe if any of you guys have tried Linux before and tried Linux Mint and Ubuntu and not really had a fully fulfilling experience, maybe you should give Kubuntu a try, because the start menu is very much like how the Windows 7 start menu is behaving, or and to some degree the Windows 10 start menu. But yeah, just in general the user interface seems much nicer. I tried it in Bayside and I also tried it in my Steam Deck. Obviously the Steam Deck doesn't have all the, it has better integration with the hardware because you'd expect it from the same, when the software and the hardware is from the same company. But yeah, this also works just as well as it does on Windows, and so I think I'm just gonna run this daily now. And now I do get my second SSD back to be used in something else. Don't have a use for it yet, but I might be putting it in a server or use as a cache device, or I don't know. I don't have a use for it yet. I'm not gonna get rid of it because they're expensive now, and it's nice to have extra of these. Glad that I have a few extra, because if I do need an extra at one point, it's a bit annoying to have to go and buy one because they're so expensive now. But yeah, that's kind of besides the point. Maybe I'll keep it around just in case for a little bit. If I want to go back, I could also just take an image of it, I guess, and then erase it. I guess I'm kind of rambling right now, but if you enjoyed the video, please remember to leave a like down below, and while you're down there, you can also share your thoughts if you learned something in this video. And then I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.